All right, everybody, what's going on? Welcome back, and if you're new, welcome to the Lazy Ass Samurai YouTube channel, where we just kind of chat about stuff. It has been a while, I will admit that. And to be honest with you, it's April Fool's Day, so my intro was actually going to be me capping and saying that, guys, I'm sorry, but I'm stopping the channel. But I'm not really one for April Fool's Day jokes, because I'm too gullible and naive, so I fall for them every year. Even the most obscene announcements, like they announced a Zoom Battle Royale type of game, and I actually believed it until I realized, well, that doesn't seem like it would make any sort of logical sense. So, but moving forward, it is April 1st, and my birthday is this month. So, my gift to not only myself, but to all my viewers is I'm going to be putting out a video every week this month. Yeah, I know, it's crazy, considering I usually post 2 videos up and I disappear for a week and then maybe you get another one. So I just thought we'd start this off with, you could probably guess what this video is about, given this little display I have next to me. I'm here to talk to you about Marvel's Avengers and my thoughts on the video game. I'm actually going to try something different moving forward because I don't care for when I ramble or even when I forget certain things I want to talk about in my videos. So I actually have a little script written up for this video. So let's just dive right in. There are 4 things I really want to touch on. The first would be my hype behind the game. You can imagine my hype behind the game was pretty much through the roof. I mean, the same year we were getting Miles Morales announced for the next-gen console was, the same year we get an Avengers game. We got gameplay, we got trailers. It finally got revealed. Because I was a big fan of the Marvel Ultimate Alliance games, as well as even the Lego Marvel video games, because I'm like, I want to play as the Avengers. I want to play as these characters. And, they had the movie tie-in games, but those weren't really good at all, really. So we're finally getting an Avengers game that not only lets you play by yourself, but with others. See, but what turned people off about this game is because it's a live service. Games is a service type game, I guess the term is, where it's like you got loot, you got microtransactions, you got sort of just this online multiplayer player base. But I think the difference between other people and me is that I'm more akin to like single player driven experiences. You feel me? So like, when it comes to games like this or like Borderlands 3, where it's like, oh, just like a looter shooter, or like you've got a whole bunch of different gear rarities and you're just grinding and you're leveling up, it's like, they excite me because when they catch my eye, they catch my eye. See, I never got into games like Destiny or The Division, so I was never really into games like that. Like, I rarely play games like that. I solely, more or less strictly play games by myself or at the most couch co-op. So when this game was announced, I was hyped. I was on it. I was on the gameplay. I was watching the 8A trailer, demo over and over again. When the beta dropped, I was there. I obviously pre-ordered the collector's edition, which sorta, kinda collects dust at this point because I literally have no space in my room to actually collect things. And my good friend of mine even got me a figure of my Iron Man from the game itself. So I'm pretty hyped. I'm pretty behind this game. It seems like fun. So I guess we can move into my first time playing, which was a different experience because the game state itself was solid enough. Like, I was able to play through the Reassembled campaign by myself. I was even able to stream a little bit of it on Twitch back then, and it was solid. There were no real game-breaking issues. I mean, in the beta, it crashed a few times, but that's the point of a beta. It's just to test out the kinks, right? Everything's cool on the single-player campaign front. Like, I was all in, and it was fun. But then I can share with you, I can pinpoint the exact moment my hype for this game died, and it was when I was playing it on my PS4 Pro. See, it's already bad enough that my PS4 Pro, much like many others, sounded like a whole jet engine trying to take off out of my bedroom whenever I booted up any game that asked for even the slightest bit of quality. So anything from 2018 onwards, my PS4 Pro would scream at me and give off so much heat that I could have sworn it was going to burn a hole through my bedroom wall. So you can imagine, as I'm dealing with the fan being so loud that I have to play with headphones, it was already bad enough that I was playing a mission, and you had to in a raid boss sort of style mission, you had to defeat Abomination. Easy peasy. Well, not easy peasy, because it took, like, he had a lot of health, and attacks only did so much. So, anyways, finally me and my team of CPU Avengers took him down. We got to the end of the mission, and as it was loading in to, like, save it to my progress, the game crashed. And I was like, oh, well, that's unfortunate. I hate that. But I was willing to go back in, because I'm like, this is still a pretty fun game. For me, I'm enjoying myself. I'm willing to replay this mission if I have to. That was before I ended up playing the mission 2 to 3 more times, and the same crash happened, and that is when I gave up on the game. I'm not going to lie, because it was just very frustrating to me that I had to go through and play through that again, and again, and again. So that's where my hype died, in that moment where I had to play the same mission multiple times over. And I was hurt, I was rooting for it. I mean, not everyone was hyped for it, but I was rooting for it. The pandemic hit, and game development has never been the same since. We've got delays. We've got situations like Cyberpunk, where even the delay didn't save the game, and now it's just kind of playing catch-up. And I just didn't want Avengers to fall by the wayside like Anthem did, because Anthem was very similar to Avengers in its model of game. Online multiplayer, but also can be single-player played. But it came out to very bad reviews. And EA was like, okay, we're going to revamp it. We're going to scrap it. Or we're not even going to scrap it. We're going to take it and make it something better. Like No Man's Sky, which came out in a disappointing sense. But then EA came out later and said, okay, we're scrapping the plan to, revamp Anthem. And it's dead now. And I'm just like, wow. I don't want that to happen to you. But it's okay, because we're moving on. And that brings me to my next point, the current state of the game. See, after my crash debacle, I was like, well, I'm never playing this again until they patch it or update it. And that announcement came in the form of them saying, hey, we're going to bring out next-gen versions of this game and next-gen upgrades. So I'm like, okay, say less. I'll just take a little bit of time. Sit on it. I mean, I know it's going to be a hassle procuring a PS5 anyway, so by the time I have one, maybe the next-gen version of the game will be out, right? It did take a little bit of time. Things were delayed down the line, but it's okay, because we're good now, right? I got my PS5, and I refused to play it, because I booted up the disc version of the game before the next-gen patch, and it did play a little better in terms of, appearance, but the performance was still kind of dookie. The load times were still egregious, and I was just like, well, we're just done. I'm gonna let it marinate until I can play the next gen version. Then come to find out there's a difference between, well, I should have known this, but I didn't know. They didn't really say anything. There was a difference between backwards compatible Avengers on PS5 versus the native next gen version of Marvel's Avengers. So I had to buy the game again to get everything I wanted. The haptic feedback in the controllers, the better load times, the better graphics, the destruction physics being more in depth. There was a lot more being offered on the native next gen version, so I did buy the game again. I guess you could say I'm a bit of a Marvel shill. I mean, I don't know why you would ever think that. But yeah, no, I bought the game again, and it's significantly better. The load times are virtually not there. The graphics are amazing. It plays at a dynamic 4K range at 60 frames per second. I haven't had any stutters, any hiccups, any crashes at all. And I'm currently... See, that was another thing. My data didn't exactly transfer over, but my cosmetics did. Because, when 5Gum did their promotion where you get packs of 5Gum and put the codes in on the Avengers website and you got things in-game, I did that. And all that carried over. All my pre-order content, everything I had before was there except for the progress, which I was fine with because it had been so long that I'm like, I couldn't even jump into this if I wanted to. So now I'm currently trying to play through the reassembled campaign all over again. Still phenomenal. Still giving me chills. Still giving me the same vibes I felt when I first played the game on my PS4 Pro, but even better. And it's just a significantly better game. Which brings me to my next point. What's coming and my hopes on the game's future? What's coming up is a lot. I actually should have written this down. I have it in my phone, but I cannot see that right now. I just know there's a lot of content. They've released a roadmap, as well as the new... I know Kate Bishop and Hawkeye have been added to the game since I played. I can't wait to dive in and get to know those characters and their stories. The only thing that's really stuck in my mind is soon they're going to have sort of this tachyon. I forgot how they're going to explain it in-game, but basically you're going to be able to go into a mission as any Avenger. Like before or even now, if you try to load into a game, you have to pretty much play with really nice strangers or friends who have preferred Avengers. Like, if you want to be Iron Man, you better hope that whoever you're matchmaking with doesn't want to be Iron Man, because you're going to be, like, kind of cut short of a person. So they're adding that so you can play as the same event. Like, you can rush a whole Warzone mission as nothing but Hulks if you wanted to. So that's going to be added. Some MCU cosmetics, some MCU costumes are going to be added. You know I'm going to be there. You know I'm going to be spending money on that. I can't help it, but I want to. And most importantly, they're putting Black Panther in the game. They're putting Wakanda as a biome in the game. And it's going to be popping. And it's supposed to be happening this year, so I'm excited. Spider-Man did unfortunately get pushed back, but I don't think anyone was really too hyped about that, mainly because of the console exclusivity with PlayStation. But I'm hyped for the future of Marvel's Avengers. And, yeah, I'm just excited to see what's in store. I hope that it actually turns out to be a much better game, very much akin to that of what happened with No Man's Sky. I'm hoping that the player base grows. I'm hoping more content gets included. I'm hoping that with the release of future MCU titles, we start getting more content based on that. I hope we see a whole bunch of big bads like Dormammu. I hope we see Doctor Strange. I hope to see, Spider-Man's going to be there. I'm hoping maybe, like, a couple years down the line, we get a whole Thanos expansion. I'm just hoping that this turns out to be the Avengers game that we would have all had hoped for when it came out last year. I think it came out last year. I'm confident that it came out last year. It's just been so long. We're in 2021, and the years prior to COVID just seem to blend together. But yeah, so that's basically what I wanted to chat about in this video. Like I said, this is going to be the first video of the April initiative, if you will, where I'm just going to be bringing you some content. The next 3 videos will all pretty much be about the same thing, but they will be addressing different topics. Snyder Cut. And, yeah, so with that being said, I'm glad you tuned in. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to like and subscribe. Tell your friends. And stay safe, stay healthy, and most importantly, please stay lazy. I'll catch you guys next time.